Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. What's today? Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. Happy Thursday. And I say every day's happy because every day I'm happy every day. Even when I'm not, if that makes sense. I always know there's always the opposite of everything. So as always, I'm going to give everybody a chance to get up in here. Got something to share with you guys today. As soon as everybody get up here, I'll get started with the introductions. What's up, Aaron? He's always first, man. Aaron is always first. I don't know how you do that, Aaron, but you do it every time. What's up, Hyphy? You must got fast alert turned on in your YouTube or something, because every time. Hyphy's always there hanging in the cut. What's up, Bob Brown? He said off from the cotton fields. That's funny, man. You guys be killing me now, man. You guys be killing me with that. You know, it's so crazy when you guys say that, right? They don't know people, unconscious slaves, they probably read that and be like, why is this dude? Why do they be calling themselves slaves? That doesn't even make any sense. You guys be killing me with that. I love it. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys that reach out to me on either DM or I'm trying to fix my mic. One second. I'm trying to adjust this mic. And it's crazy. And you guys probably that call yourself slaves, you probably blow your mind that you're even saying that, but you understand that it's good to call yourself a conscious slave, rather be conscious than unconscious. Because, hey, man, I was an unconscious slave for 40 years before I woke up. So if you've done it before 40, well, 18 to 40. Okay, let's just say it like that. I don't want to say 40. 18 to 40. And probably earlier than that, because I've been working, since I was like 14, 15, cutting yards, selling candy, whatever, right? You're the first slave. Oh, man. All right. Like I said, we're going to give you about, I'm going to give one more minute. We're coming up on 3 minutes right now. Make sure my phone is on vibrate. Cool. What's up, Pedro? Welcome, Red. Hey, man. All right, come on. We joking up in here. All right, all right, I got Hyphy in the background. I hope you guys don't go crazy on the slave thing. All right, hold on, let me adjust this mic. All right, we other slaves. We know what it means. It's not a derogatory thing. Okay, so all right. Oh, they removed my sticker. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Pedro. I'm not sure what that means. But what's up? All right. Hello, everyone. My name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives, where unconscious slaves live and conscious slaves live, that believe in financing everything that goes down in value and can't figure out why they're living paycheck to paycheck. They can't, it can't be the 2 car payments. It can't be the multiple credit card payments. It can't be the $300 cable bills. It can't be the $200-300 phone bills, financing phones for the whole family. It can't be none of that. They just can't figure out. Anyway, that's where I lived for the first till age 40. I'm 51 now, but I woke up at age 40. That's where I lived in the debt matrix. I was an unconscious slave, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically said, Take the math that you learned in elementary school. Yes, elementary school. Take the math that you learned in elementary school, apply it to your finances, and then you will always win with money. All right, always win. That's what I did. Now I'm free. So basically took I took what I learned from Dave Ramsey, and then I said, you know what? I can simplify that even more. And next thing you know, savings minus debt was born. Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money I had in real life. Now, once I did that, all I had to do was believe it, right? All I had to do was look at the calculator after I added up all my debt and look at it and say, I am worth negative 100,000 or whatever the number was back then. I know it was 100-something thousand dollars, whatever, right? Whatever that was. And I said, okay, that's my net worth. And then I sold all my stuff, my Lexus, moved out of my high-rise apartment that I didn't own. It was nice to look at it when I lived in Seattle off the freeway. I would go on a date and come back to the place, and I had to go on the freeway to come back to my place. And they said, like, where you live? I was like, right over there. You could see it off the freeway, the high-rise building. They're like, ooh, private gate and all that bullshit. And then didn't own nothing, right? Not even the Lexus that I was driving in to pull up in. It's so stupid. Anyway, got out of that, left it, moved in with my sister's house. Yes, at age 40, people thought I was crazy. What's wrong with Linnell? Linnell's on crack. Is he on heroin? What's wrong with him? Why does he live with his sister? Blah, 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 blah. Little did I know that was all slaves talking. Slaves just yip yap, and I had to ignore them all. Became debt free. Now I'm freer than I've ever been in my whole entire adult life. I am free. Okay. So now what I do is just help other people become free. Right. And so when I first started, I was trying to come out here and help everybody, talk to my friends and my family. Hey, look what I discovered. Look, all you got to do is this. And you don't have to be a millionaire to be financially free. All you got to do is get to zero. What the hell are you talking about, Linnell? Everybody knows credit is this. The only way to get a car is finance it. The only way to get a house is finance it for 30 years. And then once I got out of the debt matrix, none of that is true. That's all a mathematical illusion, all of it. And then once I was totally out, and then looking back, I see there's millions of slaves walking around, just like the movie The Debt Matrix. All the people walking around in the background, not paying attention to Neo or Morpheus. That's how my life is now. All the slaves just walking around everywhere. They don't know what they think. They think they own all the stuff they have. They think they think they're progressing in life because they're getting a house, and then they get a bigger house, and then they get a nicer car, and then they get promotion. They think they're progressing, living the American dream or whatever. What they don't know is that it is a dream. In order for you to live the American dream, you must be asleep. And if you add up all your savings, add up all your debt, savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. If you are in a negative, you are living a dream. If you have a 30-year mortgage, you are living a dream. If you have a car that you financed it for 84 months, you are dreaming. You're in a dream. Okay. All you got, what I call it is a mathematical illusion. Okay. And if you don't, all you got to do is log into your Credit Karma or your Experian account and click on total debt or whatever. They don't call it debt because slaves will catch on, right? Anyway, you'll see the number. Anyway, okay, there's two types of slaves. Unconscious slaves that live in a debt matrix. They don't trust math, and they don't know they don't trust math. Conscious slaves were once unconscious, woke up, they see they're in debt. They're like, oh shit, I'm a slave. Now they're doing whatever it takes to get out of the debt matrix and get out of debt. 2-3 jobs. The more you work, the faster you get out of debt. Okay. All right. So if you want to get out of the debt matrix, trusting math is the door that exit the debt matrix. That's how you get out. All you got to do is trust math, and then you'll be free. That's it. That's it. Just like you put the numbers in your calculator. You look at that negative number, put the numbers in your calculator yourself so nobody can fool you, right? Put it all in there. And then you look at it, and then you say, I believe it. And then the door opens, and then you can leave. But if you look at it and say, nah, I believe the house that I'm living in is mine, you're going to stay in the debt matrix until you're dead. If your student loans, put it this way, if your student loans are older than every single debt you have in your life, you are a slave. Okay. If your student loan, if you've accepted that you'll never pay off your student loans, you're going to die a slave. Period. Okay. I don't care what kind of car you drive. I don't care what neighborhood you live in. I don't care if you make six figures. I don't care what kind of career you have, doctor, lawyer, whatever. It doesn't matter. Own a business. If your student, put it this way, if your student loans are older than your business, you're a slave that owns a business. That's it. Doesn't mean anything. Okay. What's up, the woman? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. All right, so I want to share something with you guys that kind of like I'm gonna let you into my world, what it's like to live on the outside of the debt matrix. Okay, all right. Well, these past few days, now I live in South Carolina now. Okay, I used to live in Seattle, and my woman had to have a procedure done at MUSC. That's a medical university. I believe it's Medical University of South Carolina or something like that, right? In Charleston, South Carolina. Okay. So we had to spend about 3-4 days up there, to get this procedure done. Anyway, as I'm there, because we're staying in the hospital, and as I'm there, I'm observing. Okay, I always observe. Okay. Now when I'm there, I get into the city and it's just busy, right? Everybody's running around, bicycles, headphones, everybody's in a fucking rush. Everybody just, and then you get in the hospital, you got all these people. And so I'm in there, I'm talking to the doctors and the nurses, and I ask them, I'm like, hey, how often do you work? How often do you work? Oh, I do 12-hour shifts, 3 12-hours, 4 12-hour shifts. I'm like, damn. And I didn't say that to him. I'm just saying that in my head. 12-hour shifts. Hell no. I ain't doing none of that. None of that. Right. But you figure right now in this climate, that's just like the norm, the virus, the COVID, everybody's panicking and all this other shit. Right. And I started thinking like this. I put it like this. I start saying like this. How many of these healthcare workers, doesn't matter, doctors or nurses, how many of these people are buried in student loan debt? Right. So can you imagine starting a career now? And it doesn't matter what career, but I'm just saying healthcare because I was just at the hospital recently. I just want to say that. Right. But imagine starting that career. Say like you're starting to be a doctor and you get halfway through and you decide you don't want to be a doctor or a nurse. Well, it's too late. You got about $100-something thousand in student loan debt. You can't just stop. Where you going? You put all this time and energy into it. You can't just stop. Now you're fucking trapped. How many healthcare workers are in a position that they can't get out? If they leave, they're going to be like, well, what else am I going to do? What kind of job am I going to get to pay off $100,000+ in student loan debt? Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. And I think to myself, what? Okay, put it this way. Say like they get the nursing job, they become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, right? But they don't really just say, you know what? I'm not gonna wait another 5 years to pay off the student loan debt. I want a house now. I want a car now. And then they bury themselves even deeper. They go in there. Because imagine this. Imagine a healthcare worker walking into the bank with $100,000+ in student loan debt. And then they're asking the bank for a 30-year mortgage on top of that. The bank is going to financially abuse them. Do you understand that? The bank is going to financially abuse them because they know if they haven't paid $100,000+ in student loan debt off in 5, 6, 10, 20 years, you think they're going to pay off a 30-year mortgage? No, they're not. And guess what the bank is going to offer them? A subprime mortgage. Because the bank already knows you don't have any down payment money because you got 100. Even if they walked in with cash to put down on the house, If they got 100,000 plus in student loan debt, the cash is not there. It's an illusion. The bank knows that the money that they're coming in is an illusion. It's not really there, but they're going to financially abuse them. So what they're going to bring out, hey, how about this first time home buyer program or this FHA subprime mortgage? And then you get a subprime mortgage, and then you get in one of these neighborhoods where they pack about 100 houses on a acre worth of lot, right? HOAs, PMI, subprime mortgage. You get into that with that kind of student loan debt, you are screwed. Totally screwed. Now you really trapped yourself. It's crazy, man. It's just absolutely bananas. So I'm looking at them, right? And that's like, if somebody, and this is what I thought to myself as I'm sitting there, I'm observing, I'm walking around, and I said, how many healthcare workers do you think, if somebody walked in and said, hey man, I'll pay off all your student loan debt right now and just paid it off. How many of those people do you think would stay in the profession that they're in? Because most of them can't leave because they're trapped because of student loan debt. They just can't stop. And then they already have the mindset, well, it's going to be a forever loan. They be naming student loans like pets, right? It's forever. I'm going to be here forever. And then they say, man, it's going to take me too long to pay it off. I might as well get a house. I might as well get a car. I might as well show people, show people that I'm making money now, and just bury themselves even deeper. Totally fucked. Totally screwed. Can't get out. That's what that's what they believe, right? And I was thinking to myself, I wish there was some way I could tell them that they're not, but they would have to sacrifice. They would have to unlearn everything that they've been taught financially and say, that's not the right way to go. No, you can get out. You're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to live in that small, cramped apartment that you lived in while you're going to school. Yeah, you're going to have to live in that small, cramped apartment for another 5 to 6 years to pay off that student loan debt. Yep, no, you can't get married right now. You most definitely cannot have kids right now. Nope, you can't get a car right now. How many of those people will sacrifice that extra 5 to 6 years to pay off? Not many. Because most of the people around them are doing what? Living the American dream, walking around asleep. Walking around totally asleep. Now, that they can, if they choose to do it, they can get out, but most of them don't trust mathematics. Okay. All right, let me say what's up to a few people in here. What's up, Snuggles? Welcome, Three Kings. People working 12-hour shifts in the medical field is the norm. As a matter of fact, people sign up for the 12-hour shifts to get more time off. Whatever. I know it's the norm for them. They believe it's the norm. If they believe it's the norm, they just believe it's the norm. Whatever. But I put it this way. If you are a healthcare worker and you have no student loan debt and you love what you do, you will be the best out of everybody because you will know you are there because you choosing to be there. You will not accept nobody. Like when you're done with your shift, you're not accepting any emails after hours. You're not accepting any calls after hours. The answer is no. Do not contact me when I leave this building. If you have a phone, you will never tie your personal phone to the business phone at the hospital. Once you leave, you'll power the phone off or whatever, pagers or whatever, and you'll put that in the desk and you'll leave. And then you'll come back, do your shift, and then you'll leave. You will never bring your work home. That will never happen. Because anytime you leave and you take a phone call, you do an email, you're doing it for free. Only slaves work for free. Slaves work for free. Yes, there are slave doctors. Yes, there are slave nurses. It doesn't matter their title. It doesn't matter how much money they make a year. It doesn't matter what kind of car they drive. That's just a slave driving a new car. That's just a slave driving, living in a house. It doesn't matter. What's up, E-Man? Three King says you can stop it. It's called income-based repayment plan. You pay based off. That's slave talk, Three Kings. Only slaves talk like that. Only a slave would say, hey, income-based repayment plan. I will give you 10 years of my life. You tell me where to work. You tell me how much money I can make, and tell me all the rules that I have to follow for 10 years. And then at the end, and then inside of the rules, you got to follow all the rules, and they don't promise you shit. 99% of the people got denied an income-based repayment programs. 99%. And people still sign up. Why? Because they've given up on themselves. If you sign up for something like that, and you're basically telling the whoever's in charge of that, the government, I don't believe I can pay off student loans within 10 years of my life. 10 years? 10 years. People have no idea what they're saying. They're saying, I am a slave. I don't believe in myself enough that I can pay off student loans within 10 years of my life. And then guess what they're going to do? They're going to financially abuse you. And they don't promise you shit at the end, nothing. Hey, you get to the end. Oh yeah, man, you forgot to cross that T and dot that I. Denied. No, sir. Ain't none of that. What's up, L Selector? The Beauty Diaries. Hey, I saw your comments, The Beauty Diaries. Congratulations. All right. Congratulations. What's up, Omanike? What's up, Dennis? Went in today at 8:30, got off at 2:30. Time to learn more Python. Oh, Python programming. Ain't that an old language? I thought that was old. Queen of the South says, LJ, stop talking about my people. That doctor with the Porsche, one paycheck from homeless. Ain't that the truth? When you get out the debt matrix, you won't care what slaves drive. You won't care their job title. You won't care where they live. You will not care. It's just a slave driving a Porsche. A slave who's a doctor that drives a Porsche. That's it. Just a slave. What's up, Gabriel? You are very welcome. I can hear the excitement when you was writing the comments. I was like, yep, that's true. Look at it. I said, she's excited. Now, when I was when I was in the hospital, right, you see them. It's weird, man. You just see them, everybody just running around, headphones in, looking at their laptops and phones. Nobody's paying attention to nobody. Just rush, 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 rush. Hell no, I ain't living like that ever. I lived my life like that for years. I'm never living like that again, ever. It's debt. The majority, I'm not gonna say it's all debt, but the majority of it's debt. It's not cheap to go to school to be in the healthcare industry. You got to pay once you're in it, and you have student loans. Now you're trapped. So you think it takes sacrifice to get out of that. And I can't really explain this to you, but if you're in the healthcare field and you pay off your student loan debt and you love the healthcare field, you will be the best person there, because you're there because you want to be there. And I promise you this, I promise you, you go get into that industry and they run your credit and they see you have no student loan debt, no debt at all. You walk in and you demand the salary that you want. You won't care what's on the pay scale. Hey, you be here for 5 years, you get to move to F2, and then from here you get to move to F5. You be like, hey, by the way, I don't really care about your pay scale. This is what I demand right here, this right here. And they're going to see you have no debt. They're going to give it to you. Why do you think they always say, hey, man, don't be discussing your salary with other workers? It's not against no law. Is there a law for that? They don't want everybody to know who gets paid, because there are people that know what they're worth and they have no debt. They walk into the job and they say, yeah, I know you're paying 80,000, but I want 160. Maybe it's 200, whatever. You're not paying it? No. Okay. See ya. Bye. There's a hospital. They make billions a year with a B, if not trillions. That's probably a T. I'm probably saying that wrong. It's probably trillions. You think 100,000, 200,000, that's nothing. Imagine how many professional doctors that are really good at what they do, surgeons, specialty, whatever, but they're buried in $500,000 in debt. The hospital is going to financially abuse them. They have to be here. What you going to do? Quit? No, you're not slaves. You're going to be right here doing what we tell you to do. If everybody's going to take the shot, yeah, you're going to take it too. You want to stay in this field? You ain't going. If you're in the healthcare field and they say, hey, man, you got to take this vaccine, and say like you're really deep down inside that you're against the vaccine, you don't want to take it. You ain't got no choice, slave. You got to take it. What you going to do? Quit? No, you're not. They already run your credit report. Just I know most people think they just run your credit report just to see your credit score. People don't really people and employees really don't really think, hey, why are they running my credit report? They want to see how many people they gonna own. They're not looking for your credit score. You ain't buying nothing. What they care about your credit score? They want to see how much debt you're in, see how much deep in student loan debt, and then they bring up the pay scale for you. If you're $200,000-300,000 in student loan debt, you're gonna take whatever they offer you, slave. I promise you. You ain't got no choice. You think you do, but you don't. LJ works for freedom. I don't check this out, Gabriel. I don't make fun of slaves. Slaves are slaves by choice. They choose to not trust mathematics. If you walk on the car lot and you choose to finance a car for 84 months, you are choosing to be a slave. And then you get the car for 84 months, you finance it for 84 months, and then you come around tell all your friends that you got the car on sale and you got a deal and you got it under MSRP. No, you didn't, slave. No, you didn't. 80 You finance a car for 84 months, they're going to financially abuse you. Imagine this. You got 10-year-old student loans and then you finance a car for 7 years. Come on, man. They're going to get you good. What's up, Queen of the South? My student loans are over. Healthcare is my passion. I know I can quit when I'm ready. And you can also, excuse me, and you can also walk in there and demand your salary. It's a whole different. If you're there with no debt, you are there because you want to be there. It's your passion, and they're going to know it when you walk into an interview and you ain't got no debt. And I proved this to myself. I walked in. I remember when I quit my job, T-Mobile. T-Mobile reached out to me and said, "Hey, we heard you're in virtualization. We know that you're good. Blah blah blah." I walked in. I had a whole totally different energy when I walked in there. I wasn't desperate. I wasn't crossing my fingers, hoping they hired me. No, they were like, "Oh, this is our pay scale." I was like, "Well, I want this," and they gave it to me. I shocked the shit out of me. Shocked me. $50,000 difference from my previous job. Never in my life had I went from one job and went to another job and got a $50,000 raise. Never in my life. That has never happened. I've always walked into an interview worried about the other people applying for the job. Oh man, I better not go too high. They might not hire me. Nope. I walked in and said, I want this. This is how much I want. Why? Because I'm good at what I do. These companies make billions. My salary is in their ashtray of their cars. Hey, you want that much? Yeah, go look in the car, pop the ashtray. That's your salary. There, yeah, go get that. Trillions, right? It is with a T. Trillions. 100, $200,000 a year ain't nothing. But this is business, baby. This is business. They going, hey, we run your credit reports here. Then they run and they say, oh yeah, they got this person has a $100,000+ in student loan debt. They got an FHA mortgage with PMI and HOAs, homeowner association dues. You are screwed. You ain't going nowhere. So when they hire you, they're gonna abuse you. They're gonna use you. This is business, baby. It's nothing personal. Nothing. Oh, Monica says yes. I paid off my student loans. I just have 2 home projects. I work for PRN per diem. I am calling on my own shots, and they know it. I promise you, you pay your student loan debt off and you're in the healthcare industry. When you walk in for a job, your energy is going to be totally different and they're going to know it. You're going to be asking questions unlike anybody else in the interviews that come in the interview. You're going to be asking totally different questions. If there's multiple people in the interview, like regular workers and then a manager and then a head doctor, I don't know how it really works, but you're going to ask, hey, in front of the managers, the regular workers, you're going to say, hey, how do you like your manager? I promise you that's what you're going to say. It's going to shock the shit out of the managers. They're like, ooh, nobody's ever asked that. I know, because I'm not a slave. I don't want to work for a bad manager. Trying to keep up with the Joneses for sure. Omanika says, best thing is travel assignments in the medical field. That's my future plan to rid my two house project loans. One must, yeah, you just keep going what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. L Selector says key number is 0 moving forward. Sure is. Queen of South says, LJ, laugh my ass off. I demanded a raise for working in pandemic and got it. Exactly. They got the money. I want you guys to understand something. This climate right now, let's put it this way. With this pandemic, okay, this pandemic right now, hospitals are number one. They're going to get all the funding they want. Who's going to say no? People are dying from COVID. Even though there's a 99 point something percent survival rate, everybody's in a panic. They get whatever money funding they want. Believe that. And if you walk in good at what you do and you have no debt, they're going to know it and they're going to pay you whatever. They're going to say, hey, don't be sharing your salary with nobody else. Because if the average, I'm just making up, I don't know the average pay scale of nurses or doctors or whatever, right? But if say like the average nurses was $50,000-$60,000 and you're a nurse with no debt and really good at what you do, you're going to walk in and say, I want 100,000. I want 150,000. I mean, you got to be good at what you do too. You walk in, they're going to say, okay, cool. Hey, yeah, by the way, you're going to make the rules. Hey, don't be calling me when I'm off. Yeah, I'm gonna have a separate phone. Don't email me, don't call me. No, I'm not on call. I'm not carrying a pager when I'm off. Why would I? Because if they're allowed to call you and page you at any time, right? At any time they want, that means they own 24 hours of your life, but they're paying you for 40 hours a week. No, sir. Ain't doing none of that. That's slavery. I used to work in healthcare and lost the passion for it. So I got out. No money was worth me not giving my patients my best. That's perfect. That's what's wrong with the industry. People are working for the money. And see, that's what I mean. Imagine how many people are in this industry that I'm just specifically talking about the healthcare industry, but it could go for any industry. You get into it and it's not really what you thought it was, and you're like, I want to try something else. But if you're buried in 100,000+ in student loan debt, you can't go anywhere. Now you're trapped. Now you're just there going through the motions, can't leave. At least that's what you believe. You can't, but you really trap yourself. If you get the money, you get a FHA mortgage, you got PMI, HOAs, car payments, and then you start a family and then you have kids, you are fucked. To yourself, you trapped yourself. You trap yourself. But if you pay your student loans off and you love the industry and you have no debt, and then they run your credit and see you at zero, they're gonna be like, oh, this person knows. This person knows. They would not dare come out and offer you a low salary. They wouldn't dare do that, especially if you're good at what you do. They wouldn't dare do that. They have trillions of dollars. It's nothing. You have to know it. You have to know your worth. You have to walk in. I don't care about your pay scale. I don't care what you think. I'm gonna stay here for 5 years and then I'm gonna move up and get $5,000. No, I'm getting it now, or else I'm leaving. Coming in the door, you do. You come in the door different than all the other employees. You do. You walk in. Hey, you nervous? I ain't nervous. What about all these people in this room? I don't care about all these people. Well, who cares what oh man, this person went to that school. They got this grades. Are they in debt? Yeah, they're just a slave of good grades. Who cares? Don't matter. I just can't imagine LJ becoming a business owner. I already am. What are you talking about? Buy that Pfizer and Moderna stock. It's a win-win. I bet it is. I hope I said the other one right. Surgeons choosing what procedures they will perform based on reimbursement. It is what it is. It is what it is. And you know, when I was there at the hospital this week, right? You know, when you're in the matrix, you don't know the energy that you give off, because debt is heavy. Right? It weighs on you. But if you believe debt is part of life, you just think it is, and then you act a certain way, you look a certain way, you speak a certain way. I promise you, you do, right? But they don't know they live in the debt matrix. So living outside the debt matrix, it's crystal clear. I can see it as clear as day. The majority of them just look tired. They just look so tired, like they haven't slept. Like I wanted to ask, when's the last time you got 8 hours of sleep? I guarantee you the majority of them say, oh my God, never. Oh, hell no, none of that. I make sure I get 8 hours plus every day. Sleep is important, right? Think about it this way. Our bodies, we have to sleep. It's not a question. When nighttime comes, we got to sleep. That's just something that's naturally happens. If you deny your body needs you to be unconscious. Think about it this way. Whatever that is, your body needs you to be unconscious for it to do whatever it needs to do while you're asleep. It needs you. You can't just lay in bed. Like say like you lay in bed at night watching TV. No, that's not good enough. You need to be out for it to do whatever. And if you're not giving it the sleep it needs to fix whatever it's doing inside your body, that's damaging. It has to be damaging. It has to be. E-Man says, a slave with good grades, I'm using. What's up, SOBC? Long time. It has been, man. Glad you could catch up. Appreciate it. Queen says, LJ, most doctors do not sleep. Most are suffering from years of, see what I'm saying? It's years of insomnia. And you're working on me? No. And it's nothing personal. It's not saying that the doctors are not good at what they do or they're going to mess up. But if you're not giving your body what it needs to be your best, that's a problem. That's a problem. You get in the healthcare industry, you got to remember the majority of people in that industry, and it's in any industry, but I'm just sticking on healthcare. The majority of them just accept what their bosses tell them. Hey, you're going to do this shift. We're going to call you. You carry this pager. You carry this phone. Even though you're off, you got to carry this. That means they own 24 hours of your life. So they pay you for 40, but own your rest of your life. That sounds like a deal to me. What's up, Hellfighter? Surgeons are required to only work for no more than 8 hours. Okay, that makes sense because they're inside a person's body. I'm sure there's rules, but I guarantee you this. Yeah, that's on paper. You got to remember, there's things that are legally on paper, but there's also things that say, how can I put this? It's unwritten. They call it being a team player. You know what team player really means? So you slaves can understand. That means work for free, slaves. Oh man, you ain't being a team player. Does team player mean work for free? Yeah, fuck no, I ain't working for free. I guess I'm not a team player. No, I ain't working for free. I ain't a slave. That's what I would say. That's why I could never fit back in the 40-hour work week. I can't do that. Because one manager, one boss come out and say, hey man, you could do, no. Are you paying me? Don't ask me that ever again. That's exactly how it's said. Don't ever ask me to work for free again. Are you insane? I'm not no slave. Now, they would probably be since I'm black, they would think I'm talking about being a slave like on the movies. No, debt is the colorblind slave master. All it sees is green. It don't care if you're a man. It don't care if you're a woman, black, white, Chinese. If you're in debt, you're a slave. Okay? It doesn't care what color. Debt doesn't care what you look like. Yeah, don't do that night working, man. Yeah, there are surgeries that last longer than it sure is. I mean, I get that. Okay, don't get me wrong. There are surgeries that you can't just say, oh, my 8 hours is up. Sorry, let's sew them up. I got to get out of here. I get that. Okay. Even in being in the IT industry, which I was for 20 years, if a system's down and my 8 hours are up, I just can't stop. Okay. You can't just say, oh, hey, okay, that's my 8 hours. I'm leaving. No, you got to stay there until it's finished, whatever. But if I worked over 8 hours because I had needed to complete something, you better believe whatever hours I worked over the 8 hours, I'm taking them off. The next day, it said like I had to be at work at 8 o'clock and I worked 3 hours more to finish something. I'm not coming in till about 11, 12, whatever the 3 hours, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 or 12. I'll be in at 12 tomorrow. Why? Because I work 3 hours over. You think I'm working for free? I'm not a slave. That's on paper. The pandemic has made it worse. Go to sleep in the doctor's line. No, I'm not. See what I'm saying? The pandemic, you can look at it two ways. The pandemic, as a healthcare worker, the pandemic can increase your money, increase your life for the better. But if you're in debt, it's going to be hell for you. They're going to abuse you. Now, there are millions of people that will accept that abuse. You get out of debt, you leave it to them, you leave it to slaves to be abused. That's their choice. They're choosing to be slaves, unconscious slaves, and they're choosing to be abused because they're choosing not to trust mathematics. That's what they're choosing. They got millions of people that will do it, but if you're good at what you do and you're not in debt, they will know. I promise you, there are positions in the healthcare industry, and I'm not even in the healthcare industry, that are specially for people that understand, they know. These are positions that are not advertised. I promise you. Hey, I want this much. This is what I do, and this is how I'm going to do it. Period. What's up, Steven? Hellfighter says, did you discuss the restrictions on the stimulus check? Hence, three importance. Nah, I didn't really. Nope. What's up, retired? Now, if you have any questions, I'm gonna put this link up here. If you got any questions, you can ask me. If you don't agree with me, you can also ask me. If you're a person that comes in, hey man, he calls his followers slaves, and I don't really understand. You're probably a slave. Because slaves only get offended by the word slave. Now, if you came in this room and if I was on the street or you came in on this channel and called me a slave, I'd be like, who are you talking to? You talking to me? No, you're not talking to me. I'm not a slave. I was a slave, but I'm not now. This is what SMD does. SMD opens the door so you can have a whole different experience than the rest of the millions of people that do not. We need slaves. I might talk about slaves, but slaves are there by choice. None of this would work without slaves. We need slaves. Slaves are number one. Slaves are okay in my book. We need them because without slaves, I couldn't be free. If you choose to get paid for 40 and work 80, that's your choice. You're a slave. If you want to be if team player means work for free, you're choosing to be a slave. I'm here to help people get out of that. I'm here to help you be the best at whatever field that you choose. They will know when you walk in a room, you'll be like a freaking lighthouse beacon when you walk in. Hey, what's so different about this man or this woman? How come they don't take no shit? The manager talks to them and they say, hey man, like if a manager disrespects you because they think they can, you got to remember they think they can because they're used to talking to other slaves like that. When they come across you and they talk to you disrespectfully, you're going to stop everything. You're like, hey, whoa, wait, well, who are you talking to? They're going to be shocked because they're not used to hearing people talk like that. You're going to turn to them and say, who are you talking to? No, they're going to say, what did you say? And then you're going to look them right in the face, right in the eye. You're going to say, who are you talking to? Am I speaking English? Yeah, I don't accept talking like that to me. This is business. If you got a problem at home or something, or you problem with your wife or your husband, yeah, don't bring that shit to work. I mean, you won't talk like that. You'll keep it professional, but they will know you are different than all the other slaves because you're not a slave. You are welcome, Queen, because I know you are in that industry. I, I I need you on the show, Queen, because I need you guys. I need somebody like you in the health industry to understand the difference between you and the other people in the same industry. Like if you're a nurse or somebody, because you guys look at, you might look at a senior doctor or a surgeon and be like, ooh, I got to bow down to him or him or her. They must be. Now, check it out. If they're in student loan debt, it don't matter what they are. They're a slave and you're not. Monica says, I talk to him just like that. You have to, because you got to remember, if you're in this industry and you got somebody that's above you that talks to you disrespectfully, that's your fault because you're a slave. If you were out, put it this way, if you and that person was out of the work environment on the streets and this person came up to you and talked to you like that out on the streets, would you allow that? You'd be like, who the fuck are you talking to? But when you're in the work environment, you somehow let them talk to you like that because you're a slave. That's why you're letting them do that. You don't let nobody disrespectfully talk to you like that. I don't care who they are, how long they've been working there. They don't have the right to talk to you like that. Aaron says, I gave him a slap in the face, and in the end, he said that I'm lucky because if it wasn't him, he'd be homeless if he quit his job. I'm not sure what are you talking about, Aaron? Queen says, LJ, they know I do not play, so they call me mean. I know they call you mean. I remember just before I quit my job, right? Because I worked one more year as a debt-free person, right? And I remember all my coworkers in meetings, like manager meetings, I would ask questions that other coworkers were too scared to ask. So what they would do, they would create a list of questions that they wanted to ask senior management and give me that list. So I would come to the meetings, I would pull out a piece of paper. They thought that was weird. Everybody would look at me like, not the managers would look at me like, what is this paper he's pulling out? I would have all the questions because I was scared of nothing. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You going to be mad at me because I'm asking business questions? No, fuck no. You're going to answer these questions. Aaron says, I even recorded all the beef me and my manager had. I was putting, oh, wow. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I'm with you now. I want you guys to get this, okay? I want you to become part of the SMD family. We don't accept that kind of stuff. That doesn't happen. You don't when you walk into an interview, you're not crossing your fingers, you hoping get the job. You're also determining if you even want to work for this company, for this hospital, for this whoever because you're going to walk in, whoever's interviewing, you're going to say, hey, who will be my manager? Are they here? Will they be in the meeting? Because I want to see that person. I want to see their attitude, because this is what you can this is what you do. When you go to an interview, they give you a time and hey, be here 10 minutes early. They're telling you all this shit. They're telling you what you need to do before they even hire you. You need to be here 10 minutes early. You're gonna have to fill out this, blah, 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 blah. And then you get to the interview on time, you're in the interview, and then the person that's interviewing, they're late. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. So if, say, like you're in an interview and the manager comes 10 minutes late, he's like, okay, well, this is gonna be 10 minutes short. Why? You came 10 minutes late. Oh, just because you're late, you think that I have to sacrifice my time. You think you can sacrifice the time in my life? Nah, because once you get out of debt, you understand time is the most valuable thing on earth, not money. It's time. You will never let anybody waste your time. You're 10 minutes late. Yeah, okay, well, this interview is going to be 10 minutes short. I would say it just like that. Oh, it's not going to be an hour. It's going to be 50 minutes. Or if it's a 30-minute interview, it's going to be 20 minutes. Why? You were late. You think I have to be on time and you can be late because I need a job, because I want a job. They think you need a job, but you just say, oh, I'm here because I want a job. I don't need a job. Did you you guys required my credit report, right? Did you see it? Yeah, it's one page with all zeros. What does that tell you? I'm not a slave. I'm good at what I do. LJ, some slaves don't want advice from aliens. You know what? I put it this way, and I know this sounds mean, but I'm going to tell you this. I don't care what slaves think. I don't care what they say. I don't even see them. I don't hear them unless I need to see them. Okay? I don't acknowledge slaves, especially when they start talking about finances. I don't even hear them. They're like ghosts to me. Huh? Oh man, yeah, I got this deal on this house, and yeah, I just got a house this year, man. I was like, hey, yeah, I've been living in an apartment, and I just went on ahead and decided to get a house this year. You just decided to get a house this year? Yeah, you're a slave. You just don't wake up one day just because all your friends around you are getting houses, and you just decide you're gonna get a house this year. No, you're a slave. That takes years of preparation, not just that same year. Oh man, interest rates are great. I'm gonna go ahead and pick me up a house. No, you're not. They're gonna financially abuse you. If you're a person looking for a house right now, trying to get a house in a worldwide pandemic, and you have no money, and you got student loan debt, they're going to offer you a subprime mortgage. Subprime mortgages are specifically designed for slaves, unconscious slaves that don't know shit, don't know nothing. Here you go. Hey, your first time home buyer program? Yeah, that's for slaves. First time home buyer programs are for slaves. Because you don't understand, first time home buying has nothing to do with nothing. Either you have the money for a house or you don't. Period. Soon to Rise says most people that tolerate abuse from their job is because they are dependent on their job because of debt. Once out of debt, the atmosphere will shift for you. It sure will. You got to understand, when you get out of debt, you got to understand, this is a fucking superpower. Millions of people are in student loan debt. Millions. That has nothing to do with me. Millions of people are in car loan debt. That has absolutely nothing to do with me. Millions of people are in mortgage loan debt. That has nothing to do with me. Millions of people are in credit card debt. That has absolutely nothing. I don't care. Hey man, the president might forgive 50, $10,000 in student loan debt, $50,000. Who cares? I don't care what the president's doing. Who cares? I don't care if he decides to do it or not. Who fucking cares? It has nothing to do with me. When you guys hear me I want you to understand the difference. I don't really cuss that much. I don't use curse words as filler words. I use curse words to express a point. This will be your attitude. You won't not I mean not attitude of cussing all the time, but you won't care what slaves think or say. You won't accept abuse. You won't have people take advantage of you when you buy shit, or when you go somewhere. That no longer happens. You will never let anybody take the time in your life and make you work for free. That will never ever happen, because you will know one day you will be dead. Everybody knows that they're not going to live forever. Everybody knows that you're going to die. There has to be time. So if somebody casually tries to take your time and make you work for free, you're not going to allow that. You'd be like, hey man, did you answer that email at 7 o'clock? Why would I even look at my email at 7 o'clock? What a stupid question. What do you mean? No, what do you mean? Because if I looked at that email at 7 o'clock, that means I looked at the work email for free. I don't work for free. You know how much how big of balls you got to have quit $160,000 a year job? That was me. That takes big balls. Millions of people will never do that. Oh my God, $160,000. That's because when you're a slave, you think $160,000 a year is big money. No, it's not. You get out of debt, you'll clearly see that it's not. It's not. Hospitals are making trillions of dollars. What you think $160,000? That's one hospital visit. That's nothing. That's nothing. Those kind of businesses, they have special areas, special positions, special jobs for people that get it. That don't because without people like me in those positions, those businesses would not be that successful. They don't tie in feelings with business. They don't do that. Hold on for a second. I gotta turn this air off. It is cold. Entertain yourself for a quick second. when I was in the hospital, right, for that week, or this, not a week, but 3, 4 days, right? Not me personally. I was just up there with my woman, right? I was looking at him. I was like, man, I could change your life. I could change your life. You won't have to look so tired. You won't have to. You won't have to accept what they're just giving you because it's business. If the hospitals are treating people like that, there's nothing bad. They're not doing it. They're not doing anything mean. And I want to make sure it's clear. They're not doing anything mean. The hospital was great. The services were great. The nurses, the doctors were great. I'm not saying anything mean about anybody, and I'm just talking about business. They're gonna get away with what they can't get away with because you got to remember this. Yeah, when I worked for the job I was working for, making 160, they abused me because I allowed it. They were getting way more than what they were paying me out of. They paid me 160, but I worked 24 hours a day. They owned 24 hours a day of my life. I was scared to leave the phone. I was scared if I was upstairs and I left my phone downstairs, I'd be nervous that my job was reaching out to me via email or a phone call. That means they owned me. I would never allow that. I just blocked the old client for asking for a $10 discount. I'm out of debt, so I don't need to tolerate that anymore. Nope. You don't tolerate. If you know your worth and people like, hey man, can you give me? No, I can't. If you pay for my services, you are going to get top-notch service. You are going to get what you ask of me. I can give you the blueprint that's going to change your life. I know for a fact what I can offer my clients. I know exactly what to do. Here, they call me, I listen to them. I say, here's the blueprint. This is all you got to do. Follow this and you'll be free. I give them the blueprint to where they don't need me anymore. I don't want, just because I get a client, I don't want you for life. I want you to be on your own. I want you to take this and start generational wealth with your own family. You don't need me anymore. Hey, I thanked LJ thanking me, and I appreciate everybody that emails me, sends me a Cash App out of the blue because they watched the video. I really appreciate that. I really do. I change. The people tell me every day, Linnell, LJ, you've changed my life. How many people you think? How many people that are listening to this broadcast right now have a person ever come up to you and say, "Hey, man, you changed my life"? How many people you think gonna ever hear those words? Not many. I didn't expect when I started SMD. I didn't really think, "Hey, man, I'm gonna get out here and people are gonna tell." I want people to tell me that. I didn't even expect that. The first person that told me that, it kind of threw me back. It really humbled me because I didn't expect to hear. I thought that only happened to like stars and famous people. Hey man, I met you and you changed my life. It's like, okay, of course they're a millionaire, they're a star, but I'm just an average everyday person. LJ, you've changed my life. That means the world to me. That tells me that I know I'm on the right track. I offer a financial superpower for people that are ready to hear it. Oh, LJ's mean. He calls everybody slaves. No, I don't. The people that follow me and understand, they call themselves conscious slaves. It's not offensive. It's not derogatory. It's something that you know because you know once you're free, you're not going to be a slave anymore. That's it. Period. Then you're going to hear all the phonies, all the fakers. You're gonna hear them all. You're gonna hear them all talking shit about investing with money that doesn't exist. Do you know money doesn't even exist for slaves? Cash, gold, silver, Bitcoin crumbs. If they didn't sell Bitcoin and crumbs, slaves couldn't buy it. Put it this way: if they only sold Bitcoin and hold Bitcoins, how many slaves you think can buy a $50,000 Bitcoin? No, big cryptocurrency would not exist. It doesn't exist, but slaves believe it's real. Hey, slave, show me a Bitcoin. Well, I can't. It's not real. I know, slave. It's real to you because they break it down in crumbs so you guys can buy it. Here's a Bitcoin crumb. There you go. And then they get fees off the crumbs. They just do you guys so dirty. They do you guys so dirty. So dirty. So dirty. Oh, and that's what Queen says. You are saving lives, LJ. Stress makes you sick, and then and you know what's so crazy? I just thought about this, Queen. I was saying this maybe a month ago. The two, the two, the two things to better health: less stress and more rest. Two things that slaves cannot have because they're in debt. They're stressed because of debt. They can't sleep because they always got to work. So they can't have less stress, more rest. That's impossible for slaves. 8 hours of sleep. If you're listening to this and you can't even get 8 hours of sleep, you know why? You're a slave. That's why you can't get 8 hours of sleep. You're a slave. And you put yourself there. You can change all that. You can change all that. You know that heavy feeling that you walk around every day, stressed out, 50,000 due dates, the cable due date, the phone due date, the car note due date, the whatever else you're financing due dates. They know you can't keep up with that many due dates is impossible, slave. And they know that. All the trial periods, they know they're going to expire. Then they're going to charge your card and blah, blah, blah. And then you're forever bearing yourself in debt. And then you think, oh man, the only way out of debt is more school. And then you go to school. Man, if I get my master's, and then they're gonna raise my salary, so you're gonna go and get in $60,000 worth of debt so they can raise your salary up $10,000 or $20,000 a year. That's not the answer, slave. No, it's not. I know TV and online colleges are telling you that's the answer, but college is a business. It's a business. Now, I'm not saying you got to go to college to be a nurse or a doctor. Okay, that's a requirement. I wouldn't want somebody working on me that didn't go to school. Okay, I wouldn't want that. That's a requirement. But you don't have to be in debt to do it. You can go get your student loans. Say like you went to college for 4 years, okay, and you need a student loans to do it. You go to college for 4 years. You give yourself maximum of 4 years to pay it back. If you go to college for 7 years, you give yourself 7 years maximum to pay it back, period. You don't know how you don't understand how you financially embarrass yourself when you walk in asking the bank for a 30-year mortgage and you have 20-year-old student loans. They're not going to say it to you because, put it this way, if they denied everybody mortgages, if you had student loans and they denied everybody for mortgages, the mortgage industry would collapse. If they foreclosed on everybody with mortgages, with student loans, the mortgage industry would not exist. We need slaves. So if you walk in, of course, if you have your student loans for 20 years, of course you're going to believe it takes 30 years to pay off one house, 30 years to pay off one house. Of course you're going to believe that. No, it doesn't, slave. It doesn't take 30 years to pay off one house. That's a lie. Only slaves believe that. What's up? What's up, Antoine? What's going on? Oh, okay. Sorry. Somebody just texted me something. Just a second. Let me put that up there. There you go. This is where you get the blueprint. You want to, and trust me, when you come here, I know what I'm asking you. I'm asking you to unlearn what the world has told you how to be financially successful. I'm telling you to unlearn that. I get that. Who are you, LJ? Millions of people do it this way and you do it that way because I can prove everything I'm saying. All the people that are giving you financial advice, I guarantee you 90% of them are slaves. All you got to do, somebody right now, put it this way. Somebody right now that's giving you financial advice, all you got to do is ask them, hey, man, you got student loans? If they say yes, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They have no idea what they're saying. Your student loans are older than your children and you give me financial advice? No, I'm not listening to you, slave. I'm not listening to a word you're saying. Why not? You're a slave. You ask the average slave, hey, what kind of loan you got? Most of them will say, I don't know. You paying PMI? What's that? What's that? Never mind. Hey, what's your interest rate? I don't know. And if this is you, if you don't know what kind of mortgage you have, if you don't know what your total student loan debt is, if you don't know your student loan interest rate, the bank has you where they want you. And I'm not saying the bank is mean for doing that. They just have you where they want you. This business. It's nothing personal. You choose to not trust mathematics. That's your problem. The bank understands nothing when it comes to finances. When it comes to finances, absolutely nothing exists outside the laws of mathematics. Nothing. Nothing's there but an illusion. If you have a house and you have a mortgage that you refinance 2 or 3 times, your house is a mathematical illusion. It doesn't exist. The car you have in the garage, that doesn't exist. If you're a doctor or a nurse with a Tesla and you making payments on the Tesla, you're not saving money on gas. That's an illusion. Okay, just because you're driving by gas stations don't mean shit. You're a slave. You're not saving money on gas. Okay, you're not. LJ, another reason people have a lot of debt is because they choose to live on campus when they can live at home. That's all part of the plan. That's all part of the plan. All part of the plan. Whatever you guys are doing, you're taking out these student loans, and and again, I'm not against student loans. You go to school for 4 years, you give yourself 4 years to pay it back. You go to school for you getting a specialty in the healthcare field that might take 7 to 10 years. You give yourself exactly 7 to 10 years to pay it back. You don't go out and buy a house, have children, get married, say I'm gonna pay it back later. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. But if you choose to do that, thank you. Because the more slaves choose that, the freer I can be. Without slaves, I couldn't be free, or people like me. And if you think I'm alone, I'm just the one that verbalizes this. There's other people walking around in debt matrix just like me. They just don't say shit to you because it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time talking to slaves. Total waste of time. You gotta, if I was in the work, say like this, say like I got back into the work field, right? The regular work industry, right? I have to blend in with slaves. Oh man, yeah, I sure hope the president knocks off student loan debt. You just gotta pretend. Oh man, yeah, because what did Yellow J just sent me? The average car payment is $600 a month. 600. Now, let me make sure you guys understand something. Whenever they talk about the average is made up of hundreds of millions of no, excuse me, not hundreds, millions of slaves making the same financial decisions as one. That's how they come up with the average. So if the average car payment is $600, $500 or $600, and your car payment is $500 or $600 because you're part of the slaves, you're a slave. 600. Imagine this: $600 a month, and then the average. They finance the car for 84 months, right? That's like, what is that? Let me put that. Let's say $600. That's like, and you times that by 7 years. That's like $50,000, $50,400. 7 years at six. Oh my God. Mm, 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 mm. Can you imagine? And that's without insurance. That's without taxes, because this is going to be here's a hard pill to swallow for slaves, okay? When you go, when you step on the car lot and crack your lips of financing something that goes down in value, they're already going to financially abuse you, because only slaves finance things that go down in value while it's going up in price for the bank. You're a slave. They're going to abuse you. Only slaves finance things that go down in value. And the reason why they break it up in payments, because you didn't have money to buy it. That's why you're making payments. And if you didn't have the money to buy the car, guess what else you didn't have the money for? You didn't have the money for the taxes either. So guess what you're doing on top of that? You're financing fucking taxes. Not only do slaves hate paying taxes, they finance taxes. at whatever interest rate that the bank puts on there. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm. Ooh, they do you slaves so dirty. Ooh, ooh. Shout out to Kirkland for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you. Thank you, Antoine. I appreciate it. Shout out to Retire for the $10 super chat. LJ, I'm done dating broke women. Freedom is priceless. Have you noticed most slaves, every time you get in a group setting, they always say, hey, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And everybody throws out their titles. Nobody stops to say, hey, who gave you that title? My employer. They sure did, slave. And they can take it away anytime they want, especially when you're in debt. Especially when you're in debt. Oh, you did that. Hey, man, you threw me off. I was like, wait a minute. He did. Shout out to Antoine for the 3 shots of $4.99. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. Thank you. What's up, Mecca? You're right. It's reprogramming, L Selector. It's reprogramming. I know what SMD is asking you to do. Here, along comes LJ and say, hey, man, credit scores ain't nothing. Credit means absolutely nothing. What? Yeah, nothing. When you have cash, who cares? Blue book value of anything no longer matter. You don't care about the house prices. You don't care the blue book value of cars. You don't really care because you're going to be buying all your stuff for half the price from slaves. You think I'm paying full price for anything anymore? Nope. Only slaves do that. Only slaves that have to finance stuff. Reprogram everything. And right now, put it this way. If you can get into the health, if you're in the healthcare industry, get out of debt. You will kill it. That is the field to be in right now. That is the field. You can demand your salary, but you got to be debt free. You can't be in that field and be in mounds and mounds of student loan debt. That's different. They're going to abuse you in that field. They're going to squeeze, they're going to pay you for 40 hours, but guess what? They're going to work you for 24 hours a day. They're going to work you. 5 o'clock come or whatever your hours are, you're going to be like, I'm leaving. Hey, can you do this real quick? No, I sure can't. No, I can't do anything real quick. No, for free? No. Are you paying me? That will not happen. You will be able to name your ticket. Now, I don't know if there's if working at for one hospital is better than working at another hospital, but I promise you, you will only work at the best. You will only work at the hospitals that will respect you and respect your skills and respect what you do, and they will pay you accordingly. They make trillions of dollars, trillions. Your salary ain't nothing. But if they can get the best people to work for them and be there because they want to be there, not because they have to be there, they will be the best hospital. They will be. They will be number one. I'm walking into what is it? MUSC. You walk in the hospital, beautiful, absolutely beautiful hospital. All right. The people treated, I mean, don't get me wrong, the people that work there treat us with total respect and good work, but I could just see a lot of them were tired. Especially like when you're coming, like when I was coming on, you could tell the people coming on shift and you could tell the people leaving. You could just see it. Okay, it's an energy thing. Okay, it's not something you say, hey, that person feels like this, because you can't use your human senses to detect it, but you can see. It's like when you walk into a room and you can feel the energy's bad in the room. You can't say, hey, the energy was square and it was red and it smelled like poop. You can't. It's something that you just know is there. You can't really explain it, but you know. That's what I mean. So if you're in this field, in the healthcare field, and you're there because you want it and you ain't got no debt, the people are going to feel you. The business is going to feel you. Now, if you want to come on, you got a question, you can ask me. You don't have to come on camera. You can just turn on the mic, turn off the camera, whatever. Ask me a question. You want to know the blueprint? Let me put my website up there. There you go. Consultation. Some people like to talk to me for an hour and they know what to do from there. Because when I first got out of debt, I didn't need to buy any of Dave Ramsey's programs. I just listened to what he said. Hey, use math on your finances, you'll win. That's what I did. Follow these baby steps and you'll get out. That's what I did. And I was free. That's it. I didn't need to buy any program. Some people, the majority of people that listen to me, they watch my videos and then they do it themselves. But if you need a blueprint, I can map it out for you, the exact steps of what you need to do, and you'll be free. You won't be a slave anymore. Mecca says, every time I tell someone I'm paying off student loans, their reply is they don't even think about theirs. They don't plan on paying it off unless they hit the lotto. See what I'm saying? Slaves don't even know that they're telling other people that they're going to be slaves until they're dead. They don't even know by saying that stuff like that. Oh man, I don't even think about them. That's exactly where they want you, slave. Don't even think about the debt. That's why they always make student loans low interest rate. You can put them in forbearance. A lot of, you know what a lot of slaves are doing? Hey man, I'm saving money. Why not? We don't have to pay our student loans. Oh, you slave, poor slaves. Right now is the time, the best time to start paying off your student loans. You think slaves are doing that? Now they're like, whoo, man, I don't have to pay student loans, man. And they're just spending, buying TVs, PlayStations, new phones. That's exactly what they want you to do, slaves. They know, listen, I know it sounds like when they say, hey, we're stopping all the interest and payments, and it sounds like help, right? I know it sounds like that, but millions are out of work. They know you can't pay it. Soon as that student loan interest kicks in back in September, mm, 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 mm. Ooh wee. They're gonna do you, and they're gonna do you good. And they're not even gonna buy you dinner. They're not even gonna buy you dinner. And not even give you a ride. I'll meet you there. And you're gonna pay for it, slave. Just found out my job checks the credit report of salary employees from time to, of course they do. I remember when employers first started doing that, I was in debt when that first started happening. It blew my mind. I was like, why are they checking credit? I'm not buying anything. Why do you want to know my credit? So they know what to offer you. So if they run your credit report, say like you applying for a job and they say, hey, we do this and blah blah blah. Who knows how often they check either, right? They know exactly what type of salary they're going to offer you if you're in debt, because you're going to take whatever the fuck they offer you, because you're a low down dirty slave. You're going to take whatever they offer you because you're a slave. Hey, this is what you're going to say. Okay. Why? Because you got to make car payments. You got cell phone payments. That's why. You got multiple credit card payments. LJ, I'm tired of slaves asking me what I do with my time now that I'm retired. I want to say whatever the hell I want. That's exactly what you say. Whatever the hell I want. Whatever. Hey man, LJ, what do you do? I do a lot of sleeping. What? Yeah, I know you wish you could, but I know you can't. Mecca says they don't think about paying off the student loans, but they want investments. I know. Slaves, look, check this out. It cracks me up when I hear a slave talking about investing with student loans. That just, put it this way, there's a stock market that slaves don't know about. You know why they don't know about it? Because you're the stock, slaves. You are the stock. Log into your Credit Karma, log into your Experian, and take a look at all your owners. Those are all the businesses that own stock in you, you slave. They own you. They own you. Those are people that have stock in you. That's the stock market slaves don't know about because they're in it. Aaron said, since I quit my job, I find it hard to get a job and work part-time. I think it's cost they don't, it's because they know I'm not a slave and they want to hire slaves because They know they won't leave as soon as they get a job. Well, that is, but you got to find that business that understands what I'm talking about, because without people like us, they wouldn't be successful. The positions that you're looking for are not advertised. Okay, you got to walk in. I don't, and trust me, I don't know how to. I don't know. I don't know how to do what I'm saying when you walk into a job, right? Because you got to get past. Because you got to remember, the people that are interviewing in the job, they're slaves too. They got houses, they got car notes, mortgage payments, child support payments. They got all. They're slaves too. So I don't know how you're going to break through to get to the people that you really need to talk to, but that's a whole different level. I'm not sure. I'm gonna figure that out. Exactly. You only want a job. Your whole world is going to change. You're never going to be the same ever, in a good way. You're going to tell people, especially slaves, you're going to tell them to their face, you're a slave. I'm not listening to you. What do you mean? You have student loans and you're talking about investing in Bitcoin, you slave? First of all, you have no money to invest in anything. Second, so that means in reality, you must borrow money to invest in something that doesn't even exist. Bitcoin doesn't exist. Cryptocurrency doesn't exist. Slave, show me one. Oh man, Bitcoin's up to 51,000. Says who? Google? Who's telling you Bitcoin's 51,000? First of all, who's saying that? Who's telling you that? Google. Oh, okay, whatever. You got student loans? How much your student loans? 100,000? It's not 50,000 to you, slave. It's 50,000 to those with real money. I always say this. If they didn't break Bitcoin down to Bitcoin crumbs, you guys couldn't participate in cryptocurrency, slaves. When you buy a piece of Bitcoin, that's a Bitcoin crumb. Here, since you can't afford the whole Bitcoin, here's crumbs, and then they're going to take fees out of there and transaction fees, and then they're going to take taxes out when you transfer. They just do you guys so dirty. That's so dirty. You don't even know. Oh, yeah. And once you have it, once you, there, and I'm going to warn you, okay? I'm going to warn you. Once you cross north of zero, there is no going back. You're not going to wake up in one day and say, "Oh man, I really enjoyed being an unconscious slave." That will never ever happen. Ever. That will never ever happen. You can't go back. You can't. Hey man, I really need a car. I'm gonna go ahead and finance it for 84 months. That will never happen. You will never. Only you will know. Only slaves finance cars. Like slaves believe that a car goes down in value the minute you drive it off the lot. All slaves say that. They all say that. Hey man, you know a car goes down in value as soon as you drive it off the lot. No, it goes down in value as soon as you walk on the lot and crack your lips talking about you want to finance, because only slaves finance cars. And then when they run your credit, people think, yeah, your interest rate's going to be according to your credit score. But when they run your credit score and see that you have student loans older than your children, they're going to financially abuse you. Do you understand that? If you have a mortgage, child support payments, credit card payments, and you go finance a car, they're going to abuse you. That's what it is, Antoine. Bitcoin crumbs. And you notice they make up 50,000 cryptocurrencies. Hey, anybody can make up one. They still don't really understand that, right? Slaves really don't. Hey, man, anybody can start a cryptocurrency. Does that make sense to you? Go try to start up your own dollar bill. You will get spanked if you try to start up your own money. You know why? Because that's the money of the people that are in charge. Come out with your own dollar bill and try to sell it or do whatever. That's not going to happen. You're going to go to prison. Oh, but it's okay with cryptocurrency. Why? Because it doesn't exist. I like that. I'm gonna steal that, E-Man. I'm gonna steal that. Crumb coins. Crumb coins. Anybody, check this out. Those of you that are thinking about investing in cryptocurrencies, Anybody that's talking to you about cryptocurrency, I want you to ask them, do you have a whole coin or do you have a Bitcoin crumb? Because the people that you need to listen to the people with whole coins. Anybody talking to you about investing in Bitcoin, you ask them, do you have a whole coin or you got a Bitcoin crumb? If they say they have a whole Bitcoin and several, that's the person you need to listen to. You don't listen to slaves with Bitcoin crumbs. They got crumbs. I'm gonna start up crumb coin. I like that. I'm still in that. Steven says, LJ, when you said the slaves who have student loans and claim to invest, you are the investment. I spit out my drink laughing. Yeah. If you're investing in Bitcoin with student loans, you are the Bitcoin slave. Do you understand that? Do you understand? You are the Bitcoin. You're not investing in shit. Nothing. You are the Bitcoin. I thought I took it down, didn't I? There you go. You are the stock. Log into your Experian, log into your Credit Karma. Look at all your owners that have stock in you, slave. They all own you. You don't even own yourself. You cannot own anything outside yourself. If you don't even own you, you cannot own a house. You cannot own a car. You cannot own a business. You can't own anything. You're a slave. You don't even own yourself, the business of you. Savings minus debt equals if you own the business of yourself. Is the business of you in business? If you're in debt, the business of you is not even in business. How you gonna own something outside yourself? That goes against all the laws of mathematics, all of them. All of them. Let's hook LJ fam. Let's hook. What do you mean? Hook up. Oh my, hook up. Okay, I was like hook. What do you mean? I want. I know when people have never heard my channel and they come on, who is he? Who the fuck is he? Who he think he is? I'm always right. That's who I am. I'm never wrong, ever, mathematically speaking. Nothing exists outside when it comes to money, when it comes to finances, nothing exists outside the laws of mathematics. Nothing. I'm here to help you stop listening to slaves because it's a lot of confusion. It's a lot of noise out there when you're thinking about retirement. And I'm here to tell you all the things that they use on you slaves, right? Hey, how much you think you need to retire? This is the main one. This is what TV commercials do. This is what people that sell you insurance and all this. This is what they do. How much you think you need to retire? When you hear that question, this is what I want you to ask yourself. How much debt am I in? If you don't know, it's impossible for you to know how much you need to retire if you don't even know how much you need to survive today. If you don't even know how much debt you're in, don't worry about in the future. That's a sales line. They know you don't know because they know you have 20-year-old student loan debt. There is no way you're going to know how much you need to retire because you can't. Hey man, just check this out. So when I was at the hospital this week, right, with my woman, right, I was speaking to this nice lady. She was escorting me back to the area where my woman was staying in her room, and she was like, "Hey, because I give off a certain energy. It's different. I don't know how to explain that to you, but they know people that come in contact with me. They know my energy is different than everybody else's. They don't know why. I know why because I'm free, but they don't know why. So we're walking down the hallway. She's like, "Oh, I'm 60. They said I could retire." I'm thinking to myself, who is they? Who told you that you now have permission to retire? You are the only person that chooses to retire. Retirement's not an age. I didn't say that to her. I don't really talk to people like that unless they ask me. It's none of my business, right? She's like, I'm looking forward to it. They said I could retire and blah blah blah. I was like, slave talk. So you think somebody can tell you when you can retire, what age? Retirement's not an age. People think just because you retire, you think the bank gives a fuck if you retire or not. You still got a mortgage to pay. Hey, bank, I retired. They'd be like, why are you telling us? You still got a mortgage to pay. I don't care if you're retiring. Your bills don't retire. Your debt does never retire until you pay it off. That's when you retire your debt. You must pay it off to retire it. Medical professionals should be able to pay off all their debts if they focus. They can. Do you know this is what pisses me off? I really don't add my feelings into it, but when I think about the money that healthcare workers make, you know how fast they can pay off their debt. They have no idea. And imagine if they pay off their debt, do you know how fast their money will stack? They have no idea. Their head will spin. Their head will spin up like, oh my God. And let me tell you this, okay? If you are a person that makes six figures right now and you get out of debt, you're going to be pissed off at yourself for a year that you didn't know something so simple that just took grade school math for you to be financially free for the rest of your life. Grade school math, no trigonometry. Because have you ever done this when you're in school and you go start doing algebra and trigonometry and all this other stuff? How many times did you say to yourself, and this is what I said, am I going to use this in the real world? No, you're not, ever. You're never going to use it, ever. That's a trick. Unless you're putting rovers on Mars, that's the only time you're going to use that kind of math. But if you're just the average person, you're never going to use it, ever. It's a waste of fucking time. Red says, LJ, I'm disappointed you don't call people slaves in public. Oh, I would never do that. Okay, I don't. When I'm on the mic, this is my gift. Okay, this is the SMD channel. I do it here. I don't go out in public. We need slaves. I appreciate slaves. You got to understand. Listen closely. Without slaves, the housing market wouldn't exist. Okay. Without slaves, car industries would shut down. They would shut down. I mean, car lots wouldn't exist. That without slaves, the car industry would shut down. They wouldn't exist. Without slaves, the housing market would crash. Without slaves, the slaves are the engine of the economy. Without them, it wouldn't exist. I couldn't be free. And when you do what you love, you think I ever want to retire from this? I never want to retire from this, ever. Ever. I will do this until I'm dead. Because slaves will be here. Slaves have been around before I was born. They will be around until I'm dead. And I feel when I was in that hospital, Stan, we stayed there 3-4 days, right? When I was there, I feel not that I'm not gonna say I feel bad, but I can't help but observe. You can just see the ones that are tired. They're like, fuck, man. 12-hour shifts. 12 hours. Did you hear me? 12-hour shifts. Fuck no. I ain't doing that. I ain't working like that. No, I'm not doing that. No, sir. I ain't doing none of that. No. Now, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying once you're debt free and you do 3 12-hour shifts, 24, that's what's that? No, that's what's that? 12 times this 30. What is 12 times 3? 36 hours. And then you get the rest of the week off. Cool, man. Hey, that's cool. Now, if I was still in the work industry and I was doing that and I was making good money, all I had to do is work 3 days a week and the rest of it, cool. It's different, right? But if you're there because you have to be there, and people, they say 12 hours, but I guarantee you it's more than that. And the rest of the hours that are over the 12 hours is for free. If you work 12-hour shift at a hospital and they say, hey, can you finish this up? And you end up working 13, guess what? You work that hour for free. Now, whatever you were going to do with that hour on your own time, maybe you're going to take little Johnny to the basketball game. I don't care. It doesn't matter what it is. Whatever it is that you were going to do with it. I don't care if you're going to hang out the park, fish. I don't know, whatever. The hour to do whatever you want to do. Now you can't do it. You got to do it for free. Ain't doing none of that. No, sir. LJ, I tell people that I'm a unicorn. See, but when you tell them that you're a unicorn, they know that's fantasy, right? You got to tell them. You just got to be direct. I'm not a slave. What do you mean? Do you have student loans? How long have you had them? 20 years? Only slaves go to college for 4 years and keep them for 20. Only slaves do that. Don't talk to me about Bitcoin slaves when your student loans are older than your children. Like when you go, put it this way, when you go, I know people will never say this, but when you walk into say like you walk into a doctor's office, right? You automatically assume when you hear the word doctor or MD behind somebody's name, you automatically think money. You think, ooh, they must got money. So you walk into their office, and this is how you can do it without knowing. These are the type of questions to ask slaves without them knowing that you're asking. You walk into a doctor's office, right? It looks all nice. Look at the furniture, and then they always have their degrees on the walls, like nice wallpaper, right? You notice the dates that they graduated from the college. Okay, pay attention to the dates, and then as you sit down and talk to them, whatever, and you say, "Woo," say something like this, "Man, I sure hope the president knocks off $50,000 off that student loan debt." If they give you a blank look like, "Oh, no, I never heard about it." Okay, they probably don't have student loan debt because they don't pay attention to it. But if they turn to you and say, "Ooh, I hope they do too," you got to ask then you got to think to yourself, it's 2021. They graduated in 1994. They're slaves. The paper and pay attention to the frame that piece of paper's in. They don't even own the piece of paper inside that frame. They don't even own the paper. That's basically a billboard advertisement for the college. They're paying for it to advertise the college for them free. They don't even own the paper in that fancy framed wall on the wall. They don't even own it. They're slaves. Queen says, "God, those 12-hour shifts, no more body aches." I can only imagine. I can only imagine working a 12-hour shift back to back 3 days of the week. What kind of when you get home, what are you gonna do? You gonna spend some family time? What you gonna do? You gonna sleep. Can you imagine working a job like that, what it does to on a relationship? Can you imagine? You spend more time at work. So like you having problems at home. You spend more time at work with other slaves like you, of course you're going to naturally gravitate towards a person that you're spending more time with at work. Next thing you know, a fucking affair happens. It can't, oh man, they know me better than you. Of course they know you because they're doing exactly what you guys are both slaves at work, working 12-hour shifts. Of course that's going to happen. You're married, you're not spending time with that person. Of course that's going to happen. Vincent says, "LJ, just take a subway train in the morning and oh, okay, and the look on people's faces is so different than when they are at work. It's oh man, wow, I might do that. Like when you watch like shows like the news, they'll show a subway or everybody's in their phones. Everybody's looking at. Most people have their laptops open on their phone. What are they doing? Preparing themselves to work. Sad, looking pitiful, packed in like sardines. You think they want to be there, packed in with people like that? No, they don't. They don't want to be there. You got to take the time in your life because most people take an hour or more to get to work. So they got to spend 2 hours a day. That's just to get to work, right? They got to give away that time because they don't pay you to take the time in your life to get to work. That's on you, but you got to do it because you got to get to work. So you got to spend 2 hours of your life, pay for the subway. Ooh, they just do you guys so dirty. I get his business. They just pick your bones clean, right? Because that's not free. All right. And then you go to a place that you don't want to be, and then you got to pay for it, food. Oh God. If you break it down, you guys don't really make you. Oh, if you break it down, you don't make nothing. Only a slave would think Dave Ramsey is wrong. I know. When I hear people talk negative about Dave Ramsey, I think to myself, only a slave would, because Dave's not saying anything wrong. He's just saying, hey, use math on your finances and you'll win. Oh, who's Dave? He's because sometimes he'll say certain things about the government or something, and the people will be like, oh my God, Dave doesn't know, he's so insensitive. No, he's not. He's not insensitive. He's just telling you the truth. But Vincent, you're right, man. Look at the get on a bus, get on a train, get on whatever transportation where they can pack a lot of slaves in, and just look at everybody's faces. Nobody really wants to make eye contact. Nobody says hi. Hey, how's your day? They just be like, fuck, I got to get to work because I got these bills to pay and I can't really do anything about it. You don't even look at people and just take the moment to feel the energy. Now, when you're in debt, everybody's energy is the same. So you don't really notice it. Once you get out of debt, and I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just when I was getting out of debt, this is what I used to do when I first started getting out of debt and I started to get discouraged. This is I swear to God, this is what I would do. When I started getting discouraged about creating SMD, it wasn't happening fast enough or whatever, right? I would get in my car at 4 o'clock and I would purposely go on the freeway, go on the road, and purposely get in traffic. And this is what I said to myself: if I quit, this is what I have forward to. This is what I am going to be looking forward to: sitting in this 5 to 6, 7 days a week, every single day, morning traffic, afternoon traffic, morning traffic, afternoon traffic for the rest of my life. Hell, that just sparked me again. Okay, I got to figure this out. What am I going to do? And here I am on the mic in front of you guys today. That's the only reason why I'm here. It ain't peaches and cream getting out of debt. Don't get me wrong. But when you get discouraged, that's all you got to do. Wherever you live, get on the subway at prime morning time, afternoon time. Make sure you pay the fees to get on the bus, to get on the Uber or whatever. Make sure you write down all the money. That's what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life if you give up. Too many people in America and not enough jobs for people. Yeah, I mean, if that's what you believe, that's just a belief. You got to remember, there's more slaves than not. It's just business. It's just business. But that is I tell you, Vincent, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. And if you're on your own journey and you start to get discouraged, thinking about going back into the rat race, get in your car at 4 or 5 o'clock, go to the worst traffic area, and then get in it. And then you say to yourself, you look to the right, you look at that person's face, look to the left, you look at that person's face. That's what you're going to be looking forward to for the rest of your life. Slaves don't know the reason why they're in traffic. Most of them are in the very thing that's keeping them there: car payments. That's why they're in traffic. They're in the very thing that's putting them there: car payments. When I was when I was a kid in NYC, I would take a train from Far Rock to Manhattan. People watch. Frenchell says they are forcing all healthcare working to get to vaccine. Of course you do. Of course they are. And you have to do it, slaves. You think you can turn down the vaccine? Hell no, you can't. That's all part of the program, baby. That's all part of the program. You think you're going to give all the rest of the slaves shots, vaccine shots, and they turn to you and say, hey, by the way, nurse, did you take your shot? The nurse can't say no. They're going to be like, whoa, wait a minute. You giving me the shot and you haven't taken it? That would mess up the whole program. And when you're in debt, you cannot say no. If you're in the healthcare field, well, you're going to say, no, I'm not taking the shot. You can't say that. You're going to take the shot because you have to take the shot. Now, even if you're in the healthcare field and you're not in debt and you like the healthcare field, yes, you still have to take the shot. Okay. Maybe there's a different circumstances. Maybe, I don't know, but to be in that field, you have to. But if you're in debt, and you put it this way, if you put all the schooling, the years in to be a nurse or a doctor, and you can't just quit. Now you're in. Because you quit, you probably think, what else am I going to do? I don't know anything else. What job am I going to get that's going to make as much money as I'm making now? You're saying that because you're in debt. If you didn't have any debt and you were really against the vaccine, you know what you say? I quit. See ya. And maybe there's some part of the healthcare field that doesn't directly deal with people. I don't know. There's who knows? I don't know. And maybe there's a area that you don't have to take the shot. But if you're a slave, this is why they ask you to run your credit report. They know who's going to do it. They know who has to do it. They know who has to do it. SMD is the answer. This channel right here is unlike any channel on YouTube. This is the only, I guarantee you this, like, let me go find that. Let me put this here because people think I know people think I'm talking crap, but let me see this. Credit. Let me see, credit. There it goes. Oh, there we go. All right. I guarantee you this. This is the only, I logged in live on Credit Karma, on my Credit Karma live for everybody to see. Go find another channel of some other person doing that. Okay. And I'm gonna post it right here so you can watch this video if you want to. There it goes. There's my Credit Karma video that I logged into my Credit Karma live. Go find another channel, that person that's doing that. Nobody will show you that. Religious beliefs exception. Yeah. But you know, there's always there's always workarounds. I promise you, if you're in debt, you will probably forego the religious whatever, right? Mecca says if the medical professions paid the student loans off, medical costs may go down. You know what? When you get jobs that say, hey, that's a trick too, man. We'll pay this. You got to remember, slaves think a certain way. Okay. So a slave will say, okay, I'm going to get this job. Oh, sorry. I'm going to get this job because they're going to pay off my student loan debt. This is what a slave will do. They will say, since my job is going to pay off my student loan debt, I have more money to finance other shit. That's exactly what they do. But when they pay off your student loan debt, they require you to stay at this job a certain amount of years. So basically, this is what they're saying. Since we're paying off your student loan debt, this is how long you're going to work for us, slave. These are the conditions. So you can't quit. You can't leave. You got to stay here for this time. I don't want to stay at a place. And what if the conditions are horrible? You got to stay there because they're paying off their student loan debt? No, sir. Ain't doing none of that. Hold up. I got a text back of somebody that's just called me. Let's see here. Recents. Tell them I'm on a live right now. I'm trying to, you know what? I'm trying to help you be free. Basically, I'm trying to help you be free, be an alien. Will you have less friends over here? Yeah, less slave friends, but you'll have more alien friends. There's not a lot of us, but we're here. We're here to encourage you. We want the best for everybody. We want every alien to be successful. Every alien to be successful. If some alien comes out and makes a multi-millions of dollars and I ain't made a multi-millions of dollars yet, I'm happy for that person. Congratulations. And it's a sincere one. So check out that, click on that link, go check out that video and watch me log into my Credit Karma live. And then I want you to go scour YouTube and find another person that will do that has done that. I guarantee you won't find it. Took the vaccine because I plan to take travel assignments. Now don't get me wrong, okay? will they be able to force you? Because you got to remember like this. This is how it's going to work. Okay, people don't really understand this, but when they force, they're going to force every. If you want a job, they're going to force you to take a vaccine. Okay, if you are a slave and you're in debt, you have to take the vaccine because you need a job. In order to work here or wherever the place is, they're going to require your vaccine card and you're going to do it. And then they're going to naturally transition. Hey, if you want to travel, you got to have your vaccine card. If you want to fly, you got to have your vaccine card. Of course, that's going to, if I want to fly, eventually I probably have to take it if I ever want to fly. But since slaves are already going to be taking it to get a job, they're not going to think twice about it when they start requiring a vaccine card to do almost anything. They're going to be like, oh, whatever, I already had to take it, so I'm good. Yeah, you're good. They don't want lawsuits going against religious beliefs. Yeah, but what I'm saying is this: they there's always ways around it. Okay, they know how to weed you out. Okay, legally, it's not very hard. They can say, okay, you're not going to do it for religious reasons. No, okay, we're going to make your work life a living hell here. So that way you can't they can't bring up a lawsuit because you're not taking the shot. All they got to do is make it a living hell, and then I'll write you up for every little thing, and just, hey, why'd they fire me? Oh, because they were late, or because they were supposed to do this and they didn't do that. They will weed you out because they have millions of slaves that will take your place. Millions. LJ, I have to get rid of my slave friends. Too much drama. It's way too much drama, man. I have a close friend now, right? We're still cool, man, but it's just a different. It's very. I'll put it this way: it's very hard for me to listen to him speak about the things he does. That's very difficult. Just to see, because I love him, but to see a friend that you love just keep burying themselves in debt. On the outside, he looked like he's doing it right, but on the inside, I know he's a slave. It's hard to watch. I took my vaccine so I can travel. I get it. I totally get it. And I'm not knocking you, Queen. If I want to travel, I'm going to end up having to take the vaccine. I don't want to take it. Hey, what's in it? Nobody knows. It's a mystery. And if it mess up something in your body, hey man, we took the shot and got sick. That's why I stopped taking the flu shot, because hey man, you're gonna get sick first and then you're gonna get better. What? I'm gonna put something in my body and I'm gonna get sick first? Wait, I'm not sick now, but if I take that shot, I'm gonna get sick first and then I'm gonna be okay. No, thank you. And the reason why I stopped taking the flu shot, when they start offering the flu shot at 7-Eleven, at corner stores, I said, something's wrong with that. Wait a minute. Why are you mean I can go down to the corner store and get a flu shot? No, thank you. Keep that shit. To enter the country, you have to be vaccinated. Is that going to be for everything? Yeah, that's forever. The new economy's here. Okay, that's here. Nothing's going back to the way it was before. Okay, it's here. How you choose to be part of it, because there's a hierarchy. I swear to God, when you get out of the debt matrix, you will clearly see there's a hierarchy. Okay, there's people that can. Put it this way: there are people in the hierarchy that will not have to get the shot because they're in a certain position of the hierarchy. They don't have to take the shot. They could tell you that they took it, but you will never know if they took it or not because you're not at that level. You're a slave. Slaves. It doesn't matter what slaves do. You will do as you're told. Queen says, correct. They will figure out a way to make your job a living hell, and no vaccine. Sure will. Oh, I can't take the vaccine because of religious reasons. Okay. They're gonna write you up for every little thing and just fire you. And then guess what? A slave is gonna take your place that will be happy to take the shot because they want a new car. They want that new Hellcat. And it says, when I was a kid, my school visited a hospital and nurse spoke to us. She wasn't into it, her job. A teacher asked about school and loans, and she said she doesn't look at it because of how much. They don't, yeah, the majority of slaves are too scared to even look at their total student loan debt. Let me tell you something, slaves. If this is you, They have you exactly where they want you. If you're too scared to look at your total student loan debt, that's exactly where they want you. And when I say they, I'm not saying they're evil or mean or they're bad people. No, because you choose to be there. If you choose to be afraid to look at your total student loan debt, that's on you. What Queen say? Queen says, I really got sick with the second vaccine. See what I'm saying? Nah. Nope. No. So I have to work very, very hard to not to have to take that shot. Okay. I haven't taken the flu shot in years. I don't get sick. You know, I don't get sick because I fucking take care of myself. I exercise, I work out, I eat right. I mean, I don't eat right all the time, but I don't want you guys thinking I never stop at Sonic's or hamburgers or chicken or whatever. I don't want you thinking that, but I don't eat it every day. Fast food is expensive. It ain't cheap. See, and you know what, Queen? I can't even say I've never taken the flu shot. It just when I started paying attention to things that don't make sense. Like I said earlier, when they started offering flu shots at 7-Eleven, at CVS, at every corner store, and then at the job I had, they started making flu shot trucks, like making them really fancy and smiling faces on it. And then they came to my job. Hey, we're gonna come to your job and give you a flu shot. I was like, damn, you guys are. This is how I looked at it. You guys are going to spend money to to fix up a fancy little mobile flu shot thing, and then you're going to come and offer the flu shots to us for free at work. No, that's a trick. Why would you spend money to give away something for free? No, you're not. You're not getting me like that. I said, no, this is the last time I'm taking a flu shot. And then all the other slaves say, hey man, you gonna get a flu shot? When you say no, they look at you like you're weird. Oh my God, you're not gonna, it's flu season. Who says it's flu season, slave? The TV? The TV says it's flu season? Stop listening to the TV, slave. Uh-oh, what's going on here? 1 second. Oh. Sorry, somebody's texting me something. I gotta get this information to him real quick. 1 second here. You gotta stop listening to the program, slaves. You gotta stop it. All right. Queen says, I have not been sick in 10 years, then took that damn Moderna. I hope I'm saying that right. Moderna. Ain't that weird? Weird. Really weird. Three King says, you got sick because your immune system is developing a response. Here's the standard response. This is what they say on TV. You got sick because your immune system is developing a response to the vaccine. This is the same response it will use to combat COVID if you come in contact with it. Okay. Whatever, slave. Whatever the TV says. I know they used to say the exact same thing about the flu shot. Hey man, your body's got to introduce. I don't care what they say. I take care of myself. Nothing. Everything I eat comes from Earth. LJ, I walked 20,000 steps. Oh man, you be into that steps, man. How much weight have you lost again? I forgot. Oh, Monica says, I'm a veteran, used to taking shots. What's one more? We will have to. I already see it. Yeah, they will. Slaves will get it first. Okay, slaves are the first to get the shot. You guys have no choice. You have to have a job because you got car payments, you got credit card payments, you got mortgages, you got to pay PMI, you got to pay HOAs, all that other stuff, all that stuff that you don't have to pay. I mean, you don't have to pay it, but you just choose to pay it because that's the only way you think you can get a house. That's the only way you think you can get a car. They even broke it down to as far as that's the only way you think you can get a phone. Why do you think the phone prices are going up so high? Because they know you can't afford to buy one in cash, slave. They're going to make financing phones, they already have, make financing phones a normal thing. They always say it on TV. Hey, join us. You get free two free phones and a free iPad and a free blah blah blah. How long would they? If you going into business selling phones and you gave away all your phones for free, how long would you be in business? They're not free, slave. They're only free to slaves that think it's free. Wow, that's damn 35 pounds. Congratulations, man. Queen says, my husband is an orthopedic surgeon. He refuses to take the COVID vaccine. I'd be very interested if he will ever have to. I mean, he sounds like he's in a position to where he doesn't have to. Especially, put it this way, if you are a very excellent, very good and excellent surgeon, they'll probably give you a pass. Okay, if you're out there saving lives, cutting people open, doing what they need to do to save their life, the life that you're saving, I highly doubt if that person says, hey, before you work on me, have you had your COVID shot? No, they're not gonna say that. They're gonna say, please save my life. Vincent says, my mom took the shot and said the next day she thought her arm was going to fall off. See, I hear these kind of stories, man. And I was reading somewhere that if something really bad happens to you, you have nobody you can sue. You don't think there's a hierarchy somewhere? They give you a shot, and if you have a bad experience from it, I mean, almost like a life, you can't sue anybody. There's a hierarchy, and if you're a slave, you must do as you're told. Period. Queen says he argued with me for taking. I bet he did. You're his wife. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand as a man and you got your woman, there's certain circumstances that you're in a position that it just is what it is. You can't certain situations, you just can't do certain things. You have to. I get it. Poindexter says, my grandma took the shot and is perfectly fine, no issues. And I'm not saying everybody gets sick, okay? All I'm saying is that I don't know what's in it. 99% survival rate, but we need shots. That shit don't things that I always pay attention. You pay attention to the things that don't make sense. My colleagues that took the shot had massive headaches for a few days, but they say they're fine now. See? You must go through pain first and then you'll be okay. Why? I don't want to go through pain. I'm fine right now. I don't need anything. If I die, I won't know I'm dead. Let me say that one more time. If I die, I won't know I'm dead. I will never know I was even alive. The first month, 24 hours after the shot, headache, fever, body. Oh, no, man. Fuck all that. I don't even cuss a lot, man. But when I see stuff like that, man, I just, no, thank you. Now, again, I'm not saying that I'm not going to have to take the shot. Okay, I'm not saying that, but because they're going to implement it everywhere. This is coming. This is if you need a job, you most definitely are going to be taking the shot. Okay, period. It doesn't matter if you're a healthcare worker. It doesn't matter. It's going to be required to get a job because people are so panicked now. They're not even going to work. Most people are not even going to want to work with people that haven't taken the shot because they think the shot is the savior. And this videos are not about, I don't want to get into shot conspiracies and who did what. I'm just talking about myself. The new economy is here, slaves. This is just the way things are going to be. The new economy is here. It's never going back to the way it was before. What you knew before 2020 will never exist again, ever. Now, here's the link. I just posted the link. If you have any questions, I need to. I mean, being there at the hospital this past week, man, it was like surreal. I'm just it's no different than the Matrix the movie. I was just sitting I picked a place to sit down in this little lobby area, and I was just watching everybody. Just everybody's in a fucking rush. Everybody's running, headphones in. They got to rush to get here. They're rushing to this and that. Never slowing down just to sit down and is just enjoying the surroundings. You know, not that you really enjoy the surroundings of a hospital. I just I don't know how to explain it. It's just like the movie, The Matrix. Morpheus and Neo's walking in like that scene where Neo he sees the girl in the red dress walking by or whatever, right? Pay attention to all the people around them just walking and bumping in. That's how it is. That's how it is. Queen says passport, shot record, photo ID to board. You better believe it. You better believe it. It is what it is. Mm, 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 mm. My job offered everyone to take it. It was mandatory, but it was mandatory but encouraged. I was confused because I'm only 22. There's no way I would die, and the shot won't prevent you from passing it for at least 2 months. It's just pay attention. I promise you. Always pay attention to the things that don't make sense. That's an indicator. You're like, wow, that don't make sense. Like I was talking about the credit report thing. Why are they running credit reports to get a job? Does that make sense to you? Because when you apply for credit, of course they're going to run your credit. They want to see how you pay bills or whatever. But a job that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to you, slave. Your credit report is going to tell you. Your credit report really tells not only financially, it tells about your character. It tells what kind of person you are. If they even want a person like you working for them. If you're in mounds of debt, they're not going to put you in a position around money to handle finances because you don't even know how to handle your own finances. You're a risk. Wasn't mandatory. Okay, wasn't mandatory. Oh, okay. but it was encouraged. What you know what encouraged means? Do it. As you're gonna have problems working here. Okay. We're gonna encourage you to do it, but we're gonna have problems if you don't. And then what if they decide to do it? This would be a smart way to do it. Okay, if this was a business, right? Just like they do with the flu trucks, they roll these trucks up to your job and they have everybody come out and take the flu shot. Okay, not a big deal if you don't take the shot. Hey, you going they always all employees, hey man, the truck's here, you gonna get your flu shot? And then when you say no, when I used to say no, they kind of looked at me weird or whatever. But the majority of coworkers that knew me, they knew I was into health and fitness. They're like, oh, LJ take care of himself. He's never really sick, right? But say like they roll that same truck up to your job talking about take the vaccine, and then all employees go, hey man, you gonna take your vaccine? Say no. Why everybody says yes? They're gonna look at you weird. Oh man, I can't hang around you, man. They mm. When you walk around now, you walk around, just go places, you can feel the fear. You can feel the panic. I pay attention to all energies. A lot of people don't really understand that, but it's real. Everybody know energy is real. You can feel somebody when they're bad or upset. You can feel energy when you walk in a room when it's negative or positive. Hell, put it like this. Okay, put it like this. You ever been like at in a crowd of people? Say like you're watching a basketball game. Okay, you're facing the court, and then there's people sitting behind you. You're watching the game. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, you turn around because you feel like somebody's staring at you from behind. And you turn around and sure enough, somebody's staring at you behind. How do you know that? Everybody, the majority of people have experienced this, but nobody has explained it, right? But everybody know it's real. It's the same thing. Omanika says, once FDA approved the vaccine, it will be mandatory. They'll approve it. They will. It's going to be approved. That's not without a doubt. It's going to be approved. There's no maybe, if, sort of, kind of. It will be. And here it is. If it's not even FDA approved, they have people taking shots on TV. Wait a minute, it's not FDA approved, and they're taking shots on TV. Oh, it doesn't really matter if it's FDA approved. I promise you. The world is in a pandemic right now, man. And again, you go back, right? You think about it right now. If you are in the healthcare industry and you have no debt, you're gonna kill the game. That's a guaranteed employment, especially if you're good at what you do. They're going to know you're good at what you do, and they're going to pay you accordingly, because they're going to get unlimited funding, unlimited trillions of dollars. They're going to pay you whatever you want, as long as you're not in debt. But if you're a slave, they got a choice of millions of people that are just racking up student loan debt. Right. It will be mandatory. Bill Gates also put his chip in it. You better believe it. You think Bill's taking that vaccine? Fuck no, he's not. He gonna tell you he is. He'll tell you he is. But how are you gonna ever know if it's true or not? You're not, because you're a slave. If you don't know how much debt you're in, don't worry about what billionaires like Bill Gates doing. Don't worry about what they're doing. That's none of your business. That's none of your business. That's none of your business. SOBC says, I feel the energy during Zoom meetings and call. Energy is powerful. You better believe it. I recognize it ASAP. I pay attention to the things that the human senses, the five senses, cannot detect. But everybody knows you can put 10 people in a room, okay? And you can prove energy exists. You ask 10 people, hey, have you ever felt somebody stare at you from behind? They'll say yes. Ask the next person. They all say yes. That means I just proved that it exists, right? Okay, how does it happen? I don't know. See how that works? And the example I told you, like, about the crowd being in a basketball game, right? When somebody's staring at you from behind, there's a crowd of people behind you. When you feel somebody stare at you from behind, it's not like you turn around and, like, you looking through the crowd to see who it was, right? You turn around and look exactly at the person who's staring at you from behind. How's that possible? How is that possible? Explain it. But it's true. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to shout out to Taj. I hope I said that right. For the Cash App donation. Very much appreciated. I really mean that. Humbled by it. I'm always humbled by it. And shout out to everybody that send it to me when I'm not on lives. I appreciate that. I wish I could reply with some words, but with Cash App, you can reply with, like, symbols and stuff like that. I can't really do anything more than that. But I appreciate that. Yeah, negative, positive, it's all real. I pay attention to it all. That's why I swear to you, when I went to the hospital, when I was in the hospital, people could feel my energy. They kind of give you that look of, why is this dude different? Because I'm not a slave. I mean, I can't say that, right? But this is the weird thing too. Being in South Carolina, this is another thing. I cannot tell you how many people call me, think I'm Darius Rucker. They swear, they say, man, I thought you were Darius. I thought you were Darius Rucker. First of all, when I first came to South Carolina, I didn't know who Darius Rucker was. I didn't know who that was, so I had to look him up. I was like, oh damn, he does kind of look like me. We kind of look like each other, right? I remember when I used to go into grocery stores, people would stare at me, right? I'd be like, why does this person keep staring at me? Till one lady finally just came out and said, hey, uh, you look like Darius Rucker. I was like, who is that? Then I had to look him up. I am here. I know my purpose here is to help other people be free. If you're in the healthcare industry and you love it, I'm here to help you be the best person in the healthcare industry. If you want to be a doctor, you're going to be the best doctor. If you want to be a nurse, you're going to be the best nurse. And the people around you not going to know how you're doing it. They're going to notice your energy is a freedom energy. They're going to know, why is this person, man, they don't let the management talk to them like that. They don't accept blah blah blah. They're going to wonder why. And then when soon as they start asking questions, only then is when you talk to them about it. Do not talk to them about financial freedom or a slave if they're not ready to hear it, because they're not going to hear you. Because you got to remember, you're competing against millions of slaves that have been doing this for centuries. I know. I kind of, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I do look like him. I do. Body and everything. I mean, the body, the face, I mean, he got some speckles of gray and stuff in his head. It's crazy. No, I do. I do. I don't. I've had people say I look like White, Jaleel White. I mean, when I was younger, they said that. What's that? Am I saying that right? Jai White. What's that movie that he played in? Him and with Janet Jackson and Tyler Perry. And him and his wife used to always fight. They used to say I look like him, and I was like, I don't see that, but I do see that in Darius Rucker, though. I do see that. Anyway, anybody got questions for me? Because I've been talking about 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I'm getting tired. Any questions for me? If you're in the healthcare industry, I'm here to help you become the best, because that's going to be the number one industry for at least the next 15 to 20 years, at least. At least. I'm here to help you be the best. Nobody will be able to fuck with you. Nobody. It is here. They're getting unlimited funding. Unlimited. You will work for the best hospitals. Because I promise you, I guarantee you, if you're there working at a hospital and you're on the income-based repayment program where they make you work in the worst places because you have to be there. Only a slave would accept a business telling them how much they can make per year, where they're going to work for 10 years, 10 years of your life. You have no idea what you're saying to yourself, to the business and yourself, that you don't believe in yourself, that you can pay off student loan debt out of 10 years of your life with no promise of forgiveness at the end. None. They promise you nothing. And you sign up for that, they're going to financially abuse you. You sign up for something with no promise that guarantee. 99% of the people got denied last year. And yeah, it was last year. 99% got denied. And you sign up for that with no guarantee at the end? No, sir. Ain't doing none of that. Don't let them do you like that. Well, I'm not going to say let them. Don't do yourself like that. You don't tell a business that you don't believe in yourself out of 10 years of your life. You don't ever do that. $100,000? You don't think you could pay off $100,000 out of 10 years of your life? That's the problem. Don't ever say that. Don't ever say that out loud. Don't ever say out loud that you even on a student loan forgiveness program. Don't ever say that. Hey man, I'm gonna work here, then they're gonna pay off my student loans. You don't work at a place just because they're gonna pay off your student loan debt. What if it sucks? Waking up every day, hating to go to work, getting into working with managers that treat you like shit. Don't ever do that. Don't ever put yourself in that situation. Only slaves accept that. That's going to affect your work. You're taking care of people. You don't want to be in that industry and hate your job, taking care of people, other lives. Don't put yourself in that situation. Can you speak about how people weight correlated with their finances? I notice people who struggle with weight also struggle with fun. Yeah, that's true. People don't really understand. It goes hand in hand. When you work a lot, you think you got time to work out and eat right? No, you don't. Put it this way, and I want to make sure this is clear so people understand something. Okay. It's not derogatory. It's not talking about anybody, but nurses and doctors they go to school for health. They understand the body. They understand what to do, what not to do, whatever. And when you see healthcare workers that are overweight, okay, they're overweight. They know what to do not to be overweight. They understand. They have the brain knowledge to change that. Why do you think that is? Overwork. You can't work out. You can't eat right. You're always on the run, eating fast food crap. And it's not just healthcare workers. It's the majority of people. You working 60, 70 hours a week. You think you got time to work out? No, you don't. You ain't got time to research the right foods. That doesn't happen. What's up, Andre? I'm 51 years old. I chose to stay healthy. It's a choice. I need this body to walk this earth to enjoy life. Without this body, I can't walk earth and enjoy life. It won't matter if I had $10 million in the bank if I'm laying in a hospital bed. What good is money if I can't walk around to enjoy it? It does go hand in hand. It's true. It goes hand in hand. I'll never forget this. This is what set my health journey off. Okay, I'm gonna just tell you what happened. I remember I went to the hospital one time. This is before I got in shape. I went to the hospital to see my doctor because I had high blood pressure. I walk in, they check my weight. I'm overweight. And then all of a sudden the doctor comes in. He looked like he's fucking 9 months pregnant, and he's gonna tell me what I should do to get better health. I said to myself, remember the things that don't make sense. And I didn't really know back then, right? I was thinking to myself, what the fuck are you telling me what to do? Look at your stomach. And you're a medical professional, and you're about to tell me he was about to write out some prescriptions. Hey, you need to come back and see me. I thought to myself, you're never going to see me again. You're never going to see me again. I'm going to take my own health I'm going to take charge of my own health, because here's a medical doctor with it looking like he's 9 months pregnant, gonna tell me what I should do to get into better health. I said, oh, you just think you're here for the money. Obviously, you're obviously here for the money. Look at your stomach sticking out your gown, your white coat. Hey, you need to come back to see me. I was just looking at him. I was thinking, you're never gonna see me again for the rest of your life. You think I'm coming back to you? Are you insane? That day, I took charge of my own health and never looked back. You mean you're gonna go to school all those years, your stomach looking like you can set your water on your stomach, set your clipboard on your stomach, and you're going like, hey man, you need to do this and you need to do that. Are you doing it? Are you doing it? You're obviously not doing it. And he had this attitude too, like, I'm a doctor, so you really need to do what I say. I'm not doing shit you're talking about. He might as well been remember the Charlie Brown teacher? Wah, 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 wah. He might as well have been doing that. I didn't hear a word he said when he walked into the examination room, where I was sitting waiting on. I was like, "You're insane. Look at your stomach." It's no different than personal trainers. If you're looking to get in shape, are you going to go to a fat personal trainer? That doesn't make any sense. Blew me away, man. I was like, man, I was just looking at his stomach. I was like, damn, look. And I was thinking to myself, how long has your stomach been like that? And you think because you're a doctor, I'm just going to listen to you, just aimlessly listen to you. I'm going to look at you first. Now, if the doctor came in and he was in great physical shape, and he's like, hey man, you need to do this and do that, I would have been like, okay, I'm listening, doc. But you went to school for 10, 12 years and your stomach looks like that, and you're about to give me some advice. You're just trying to get some money. No, sorry. You won't see me again. No, sir. Anyway, that's what encouraged me to get in shape. I always pay attention to the things that don't make sense. Hey, you need to come back and see me. Then we're gonna run some tests. You're not running anything on me. You run a test on your stomach. You think women want to see a stomach like that? Hell no. Hell no. I've had a six pack ever since. Ever since. Anyway, what's up, Jonas? Any questions for me before I get off? If you guys have any questions. And we're gonna get off in about 5 minutes. It's gonna be 2 hours, 30 minutes exactly. So if you got any questions, you got 5 minutes to get them in, or else I am out. Back into my world. Beautiful day today here in South Carolina. Beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful today. I think it was, what was it, 70 today? What was it? I think it was 70 today. Oh boy. That's funny. No problem. Let's see. That's funny. I've never had that happen before. Let me go back. I'll make sure everybody understands this. Let me see. All right, 1 second here. 1 second here. All right, so I did a shout out to Taj for the for the Cash App donation. And then I just got it back. He says, I meant to send that to my barber. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send your money back. If it wasn't for me, I'm gonna get it. Here you go. Review the refund request. Refund. There you go. It's back. You got it back. Sent it back. I'm free. If it wasn't meant for me, you got it. What's up, live? A doctor is not a personal trainer. I'm not even sure what that means. I know a doctor's not a personal trainer. Why would you say that? No, explain that to me, Three Kings. Why would you say a doctor is not a personal trainer? I know that. Oh, no problem. No problem at all. Damn, you pay your barber $90 for what? What kind of haircut you getting, man? Anyway, 2 more minutes. Any questions? Jonas says, shout out to Jonas for the 499 super chat. Looking to move out of Massachusetts. Once I get a handle on debt, I want to transition into IT. Any advice on states that are worth looking at? I want you to, once you get out of debt, you will see the true purpose of taxes, and you won't really worry about taxes wherever you live. Okay. You won't look at taxes like that, because if you're trading the time in your life dollar for dollar, you're trading straight across, right? You will, it's hard to explain. I don't know. I haven't put that. I got to put that in words. I got to figure out how to put that in words, because you won't look at taxes like that. That's the best way I can say that. Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right, that makes more sense. Me and my 3 sons. All right, I was like, damn, what kind of haircut you getting? What I did was virtualization. All right, so what I did, I worked with a software called VMware. Okay, so what I was I created virtual servers, virtual machines uh, that people could access around the world. I put servers in what's called the DMZ, and then they could reach the DMZ and go through security servers, and so they can authenticate them. Blah 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 blah. That's what I did. So that's going to be big because a lot of things are virtualized. So all right, you guys have it's 2 hours, 30 minutes exactly. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. No problem live. Okay, no problem. Uh, you guys have a wonderful evening. All right. And you got any questions? You can let me put this up here. You can email me right there. That's my email. Okay, you got any questions? My website scrolling along the bottom there. If you want to see me on Facebook, there's my Facebook. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's see. I thought I had my Instagram up here. I could have sworn I put my Instagram up there. Oh, there it is. Okay. There's my Instagram. All right, Hyphy. Almost 11 p.m. where I'm from in the UK. Okay, wow. Oh, you're in the UK right now, Aaron? I didn't know you lived in the UK. I always like to watch a lot of first those police audits. I like to watch the UK audits because it's the when they like the language is just different. Words are used differently. It's crazy. But all right, you guys have a wonderful evening. Until next time, okay? See you later.